everybody. Welcome back to Walk My Talk, my weekly video series where I take a chance and spin what I call the wheel of life and do whatever I land on, whether that's live for you all here or a challenge that I need to conquer throughout the course of the week. And I do this because as a coach, I am constantly encouraging my clients to push their comfort zone by 10% or do something that they've been avoiding or something they have wanted to do but don't feel they have the time, motivation, or sometimes the courage to do it. So I want to show you all that I too am pushing my comfort zone and walking the talk that I encourage my clients to do every single day. So thanks for tuning in. Let's talk about a progress report from last week. If you all remember, I had to spin the wheel twice because I landed on read for 30 minutes today, yet again, which I had landed on the week prior. So I did read for 30 minutes, actually, still reading Dare to Lead. I was on page 159. I'm now on page 171. Didn't get all that far. I think I just read for 30 minutes that day and I didn't read the rest of the week. So what I have determined is that I'm going to take reading for 30 minutes off of the wheel, and I've now set aside 30 minutes every Monday to read. So I'm going to try and make this a habit on Mondays, and maybe that one step will begin to form an even stronger habit that might happen more than just weekly on Mondays. So I put it in my calendar, 30 minutes every Monday, I'm going to be reading. So very happy that the wheel is trying to turn me into a reader. And the second wheel, or the second item that I spun is make the freaking sourdough bread. I've had a sourdough starter kit. I do this because it comes in a jar. I've had a sourdough starter kit for well over a month, and I haven't made it because it was very intimidating to me. But I am happy to report that I baked the freaking sourdough bread, and I want to share my screen to show you all my little journey on baking the sourdough bread. So this first photo is last Monday night. I had to take the sourdough starter out of the refrigerator and get it to room temperature, and then I had to feed it throughout the course of the week. Equal parts flour to equal parts water. And I consider myself a cook. I am not a baker. So it says to weigh out like 100 grams of flour and a cup of water or something like that. I just do a little bit over a quarter cup flour and a quarter cup water, stir that up, let it sit, and you continue to feed it throughout the course of the week. This third photo, what I thought was going to be a project last Thursday, turned into a project of Thursday night and Friday, because when I finally really read the directions, I learned that the bread has to do a first rise for 12 to 18 hours. So I was really ticked off at myself for not pre-reading the instructions. All I knew was that they were very long instructions. So this next picture is of my first rise. It's a very sticky dough. It had to rise again. This next picture is me putting this very sticky dough in my Dutch oven. And then you have to bake it with the lid on. So I couldn't even see the progress throughout. And if it was rising properly, if it was becoming nice and crusty, no idea. But lo and behold, here is the beautiful sourdough loaf that I made, a little crispy on the outside, but that's okay. And it was absolutely delicious. Like my friend Jen Bills, who gave me the starter, said there's something special about homemade sourdough bread. And now I understand why. It was freaking delicious. So I thought I was going to throw out my starter and say one and done, but after tasting it, I have now decided that I will be making sourdough bread more. So if anybody is interested in the recipe, I am happy to send it. And I would encourage you to get your own starter kit. There is a way for you to actually start it on your own. If you live in Chicago, I'm happy to meet you somewhere and give you a starter kit. So there we have it. I baked the freaking sourdough bread. So let's spin the wheel this week. Here we go. Maybe. All right, I have added a couple to the wheel and I've removed a couple. So I removed read for 30 minutes and I removed bake the sourdough bread. Bake the freaking sourdough bread. So here we go. Spinning the wheel. See what we land on. Listen to a new podcast this week. Oh, this is a fun one. So I am not, or I wasn't a podcast listener. And in January, I started to listen to Brene Brown's Dare to Lead, Brene Brown's Unlocking Us, and I think one launched after, but I listened to both of her podcasts. I don't listen religiously to Adam Grant's work life, but he is definitely in my rotation. I listen to Dax Shepard and his Armchair Expert, and I think I listened to Deb Boulanger's Life After Corporate. I don't listen to it religiously, but I do listen to her Life After Corporate. So if anybody has a podcast recommendation, I'm open to both professional or something just for fun. So let me know your recommendations. I will be doing some research as well, and I look forward to reporting back on my new podcast. Hopefully this turns into another podcast that I like to listen to, because this will encourage me to take some more walks throughout the course of the day, especially as it becomes kind of nicer. I am in a wool sweater today in Chicago because it's 45 degrees, but hopefully this will encourage me to get out more, and I would love your recommendations. So what's the new podcast you're going to be listening to this week? And it doesn't have to be a new podcast. What do you want to commit to this week? Something that you wanted to do but just haven't committed to the time, or something that feels a little out of your comfort zone, a little out of reach, maybe something you've been avoiding. I would love to know. Add it in the comments, or look at me. I added my what is that? Email address right here. I'd love to hear from you. And I look forward to spinning the wheel next week. Until next time, bye-bye.